All right, guys, the NCAA tournament is set. Brackets have been revealed. So today I'm going to give you my picks and predictions for each and every region. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? All right, so first off, we've got Uconn versus Stetson. Uconn getting the number one overall seed in the East. That's going to be an easy pick here. We're going to go ahead and go Uconn. Next up, we've got FAU and Northwestern in the 8-9 matchup. Really interesting matchup here. I'm actually pretty intrigued with this one, as you know, most 8-9s are going to be. I'm first off shocked FAU got to an 8 seed. Really crazy to me there. FAU has potential. All right, we saw what they were capable of last year. All right, and you can see their rankings here on your screen now. But FAU obviously made the Final Four last year. Now, Northwestern, though, I am a little higher on them than most. They do have Boo Buie, which you'll see here. Really impressive player. All right, if you have not seen him, go watch him. All right, he's pretty impressive. He's got a fun name, too, Boo Buie. But anyways, all right, in this game, go ahead and give me Northwestern. I think Northwestern is going to be too much. FAU, they have beaten Arizona, so that is one reason to have a little optimism. But other than that, they haven't really done anything too impressive, so give me Northwestern here. Next up, 5-12 matchup, we've got San Diego State and UAB. UAB's rolling, all right? I think they're actually a sleeper candidate, but I do not like this matchup for UAB. If they would have got a different 5 seed, I would have been more likely to pick UAB here, but I think San Diego State's going to be too much. This team's experienced their seasons. They've made a run in the tournament before, and I think they're set up to make another one. Next up, Auburn and Yale. Yale coming out of the Ivy League, kind of benefiting from Princeton getting left out. Then Auburn, we saw them win the SEC today. Give me 1 second. Auburn is trending upwards at the right time. They're getting hot at the right time. And Yale actually has some okay record. Like, they have an okay resume. Like, they have some okay wins that might shock you whenever you look at it. But I think Auburn's going to be a little too much here. So go ahead and give me Auburn in this one. Next up, BYU and Duquesne. All right. BYU, I've been impressed when I've watched them this year in the Big 12. Duquesne going on a run at the right moment. But I think the A-10's a little lackluster this year. I don't think it's that good. You can see here, BYU actually is ranked pretty highly in the net, despite their 10 losses. Go ahead and give me BYU here. Next up in the East, Illinois and Morehead State. Morehead State, if they wouldn't have got matched up with Illinois, similar to UAB, I kind of like Morehead State, but facing up against Illinois, Illinois was in my preseason Final Four, so I'm pretty high on Illinois at the moment. And then going on the run, they just went in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're going to be too much here. Go ahead and give me Illinois here. All right, next up, Washington State and Drake. Interesting matchup here. You've got the mid-major Cinderella favorite, probably Drake, going up against Washington State. As you can see here, Washington State actually has a better record as far as they've played more top 25 games than Drake has. But I think Drake probably runs away with this one. I think they're going to be way too much for Washington State, to be honest with you. Give me Drake here. All right, then we got Iowa State and South Dakota State. Iowa State, we saw what they did yesterday to Houston. Iowa State's rolling right now. They would have got that last number 1 seed, I think, but they didn't play a tough enough preseason non-conference schedule. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and continue in the East. All right, we've got Uconn and Northwestern. All right, really good matchup here. Actually, like I said, I'm high on Northwestern, a lot higher than a lot of people are. But when I've watched Uconn play this year, they look pretty freaking dominant, and I think that's going to be the case here. I think they're too much for Northwestern, despite Boo Buie putting in a pretty good effort. All right, now this matchup right here, San Diego State and Auburn. This is going to be a good one. Now, I don't think San Diego State is as good as they were last year. I think they lost a couple too many pieces, and Auburn has looked really good to me. So go ahead and give me Auburn in this one. All right, then we've got BYU and Illinois. All right, I'm very high on BYU right now. Like I said, when I've watched them play in the Big 12, I've been pretty impressed. But I think Illinois is going to be too much for them. Illinois is pretty dang good. So go ahead and give me Illinois there. I've got Drake, Iowa State. Drake, I'm a big fan of them. All right, when I've watched them play, DeVries looks really good, their best player. He's probably going to be the best player on the court here too. But Iowa State, I think, is too long defensively, and they're just got too much height and too much length. And I think they shut them down. You'll give me Iowa State there. All right, in the top, we've got Uconn and Auburn. All right, Uconn, bigger down low. All right, Klingon is a monster whenever he gets going down low. Auburn, you can see here, pretty comparable net rank, really compared between the two teams. Strength of schedule favors Auburn. And then in the last 10 games, Uconn 9-1, Auburn 7-3. You can see the rest of their stats here, as well as kind of who they're led by. As good as Broome is, I think UConn just has too much. Go and give me UConn there. All right, then here we've got an absolute bloodbath. Illinois and Iowa State, winners of the Big Ten, winners of the Big 12. All right, here's the comparisons here on your screen now. Net rank, Illinois is 15th, Iowa State is 6th. Iowa State has more wins against the top 25. Illinois has a better strength of schedule. And then Iowa State has the better defense compared to Illinois' offense. But I think Illinois might have a little too much here. Coleman Hawkins, Terrence Shannon, and I think they're just too much here. Go ahead and give me Illinois. All right, then that puts us with a UConn-Illinois matchup in the Elite Eight out of the East to see who qualifies for the Final Four. Man, I'm leaning Illinois on this one. As impressed as I've been when I've watched UConn, I think Illinois is just getting hot at the right time, and I think they might be one of the teams this year. Just go ahead and give me Illinois here out of the East. All right, so moving on over to the South, we have Houston. I'm going to go ahead and click them. Sorry, Longwood fans. Houston's going to get that win. All right, 8-9 matchup, Nebraska and A&M. How about A&M getting off the bubble somehow, getting to a 9 seed? And we've got a really good matchup here, Nebraska and A&M. Former Big 12 mates, actually. They both left. But Nebraska favored in the net ranking. A&M has more wins over top 25 teams, a harder strength of schedule in the last 10. Here's their comparison. Nebraska has been impressive when I've watched them. All right, led by Temeniga, however you say that one, sorry. And then A&M led by Wade Taylor. But I think A&M is getting hot at the right time, so go give me A&M there. All right, we've got Wisconsin and James Madison. All right, now this is a very interesting matchup. James Madison has defeated Michigan State. All right, that's kind of their one top 25 win. And then Wisconsin, 3-6 against top 25. In comparison, Wisconsin has beat Michigan State twice. And James Madison beat them the first game of the year. Now, James Madison, 2 losses in conference play to Appalachian State, but that's not a bad loss. Appalachian State did beat Auburn, so I think that's a pretty solid loss, actually, despite what the rankings, the resume is going to say. As far as in the last 10, Wisconsin getting hot at the right time, going into the Big Ten tournament, and then James Madison, they're rolling. They kind of benefit from Appalachian State getting dipped. Go ahead and give me Wisconsin here. I've been skeptical on Wisconsin all year, but they actually look pretty good in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're getting hot at the right time, so I think they'll be fine there. I've got a Duke-Vermont matchup here. Duke really kind of a letdown of a year. I was really high on them going into the season. They brought a lot back from last year. They're super talented, but they kind of have not reached their full potential yet. Vermont, on the other hand, really good record here, 28-6. Key players for Duke, Filipowski. Also, you got Tyrese Proctor. I think Duke is talented enough to make a Final Four run, to be honest with you, but they just have not shown that just yet. So unless it clicks at the right time, they could be getting dipped in the first round. But I'm gonna take a flyer here. Give me Duke. I think they're talented enough to get the win regardless. All right, next up here, we've got Texas Tech versus NC State. NC State getting hot at the right time. All right, won the ACC tournament, but was it luck? Has their juice ran out? Has their luck ran out? We'll see. Comparing rankings here, Texas Tech favored in almost every category except points per game. NC State, obviously they beat Duke. They beat North Carolina in the tournament, so they got rolling at the right time. And last 10 games, both teams 6-4, pretty comparable there. Led by Pop Isaacs, that's Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech does have a ton of injuries. All right, they've got a bunch of big men down. So the real question is, are they going to be able to stop the guy from NC State, Burns? Are they going to be able to stop him down low? That I don't know, because Texas Tech is down to like their 4th string, I think, big man. So Burns might be able to do whatever the heck he wants down low. I think the juice is going to run out, but again, the matchup here I don't like for Texas Tech. But NC State, I don't know. They haven't been good, all year, but I'm leaning NC State here. I think Tech is just too banged up. All right, Kentucky, Oakland. All right, this is actually a really interesting matchup to me. I know Oakland has 11 losses, but they actually have a pretty good resume from what I've looked at. If they would have got a different 3 seed, I might have leaned Oakland here, but I think Kentucky, similar to Duke, is super talented. And if they can get hot at the right time, can seriously go on a run. And so give me Kentucky here. I think they're too much. All right, next up, we've got Florida versus the winner of Boise State and Colorado. So this is a very interesting one. First off, all right, Boise State and Colorado. It's not going to show Colorado here, but looking at the play-in game, here we go. I can flip teams. Okay. Colorado going on a good run there at the end, lost to Oregon, haven't really beaten anybody. Kind of a talented team that has not lived up to it. In comparison, you got Boise State. Boise State does have a win over St. Mary's. And then you've got Florida. All right, went on a good run there, made the SEC championship. All right, then in the last 10, you can see it here. I've got Boise first off beating Colorado, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. And then a Boise-Florida matchup, really good matchup actually, that I'm kind of intrigued by. I think the winner of the playing game is going to win this one, whether it's Boise or Colorado, but I'm going to lean Boise, so go ahead and give me Boise there. All right, then we got Marquette and Western Kentucky. All right, Marquette, their question is Tyler Kolek coming back or not? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. He's been out with his oblique injury, apparently. I don't know how that's really kept him out. It's a little questionable to me. Could be grades, too. That's the rumor on Twitter, but I don't know. I think Marquette is too much here, though, regardless. So go and give me Marquette. But shout out to Lutz, Western Kentucky's coach. All right, Houston and Texas A&M. We've got Houston at 30-4, A&M 20-14. I think A&M is just too inconsistent, but this could be a good game here. A&M does have the talent and the ability, the capability to play with Houston, I think, because they've played with teams as good as Houston. But again, just they're so up and down. Go ahead and give me Houston. I'm not going to judge Houston too much off of that Iowa State loss in the championship. You can tell Iowa State wanted it more, and it was pretty much a home game. All right, Wisconsin and Duke. We've got a really good matchup here. First off, Wisconsin's getting hot at the right time. Duke is not. Okay, Duke lost to NC State, like I said, in the ACC championship. ACC tournament, excuse me. Wisconsin is my early lean, but I think Duke has too much talent that ultimately they could overcome it. This is a coin flip right here, to be honest with you. Give me Duke here. I think they're just too much for Wisconsin. All right, next up we got NC State and Kentucky. NC State, like I said, getting hot at the right time, but I think they run out of gas here. I think Kentucky's too much. All right, then here we've got Boise State versus Marquette. So pretty good matchup here as far as Boise State is better than their seeding is going to suggest. I can't believe they kind of screwed the Mountain West, I'll be honest with you, because like I said, they screwed the two teams that actually played tough non-conference schedules. Boise State beat VCU. They beat St. Mary's. Like, they tried to schedule tough out-of-conference games, and they get hosed for it. Give me Boise State here. I think Marquette, I don't know how good Tyler Kolek's going to be if he gets back, even if he comes back. Then also I'm a little skeptical on Shaka Smart making a deep run despite that 1 year at VCU. So give me Boise State there. All right, we've got Houston, Duke here. Duke, talented. Houston, seasoned, proven. I think Houston's too much here. Their defense is all over the place. I think they're going to rile up Duke and just wear them down. All right, next up, Kentucky and Boise State. You've got talent in Kentucky versus upside in Boise. Boise, like I said, kind of a sleeper candidate to make a deep run, I think, but I think Kentucky's a little too talented here. So go ahead and give me Kentucky in this one. All right, that puts Houston and Kentucky in the Elite Eight matchup to go to the Final Four. Comparing resumes here. All right, Houston, like I said, is seasoned. Kentucky, kind of a young upside team, but I think Houston's probably going to be too much. I think they're too consistent compared to Kentucky. Kentucky, similar to Duke, has that upside that they can get to. But again, they've been kind of hit and miss all year. And I think that might come back to bite them here because Houston just pretty consistent and their guards, I think, are too much. All right, so moving on down to the Midwest region. All right, we've got Purdue. We're going to look at this one, actually, because you never know on Purdue. All right, they could lose to a 16 seed again, but I don't think they will this year. I think they're too much. All right, Utah State, TCU. Really interesting matchup here. Utah State, only 6 losses. Depends on what you think of the Mountain West, first off. TCU has some big wins. They have beaten Houston. So TCU is capable of playing with the big boys here. I really wish this would show you what games they played, but it's not showing you. I think TCU is too much here, though. Give me TCU. All right, Gonzaga and McNeese. Okay, this is an interesting matchup here. McNeese, 30 wins on the year. Kind of a down year for Gonzaga. I'm really shocked they got a 5 seed. I had them closer to like an 8 seed. They have beat Kentucky. Gonzaga has, but they've also lost some games that Gonzaga usually wouldn't lose. McNeese does have some impressive wins as well, but I'm leaning Gonzaga here. Go ahead and give me Gonzaga. All right, you've got Kansas, Samford. This one, if Kansas is not right, if they don't get their guys back, McCullough, Hunter Dickinson at 100%, don't be shocked if Samford beats them here. But Kansas is kind of a weird scenario. So they, non-conference-wise, beat a ton of teams that are up on the 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 line. But getting into conference play these last like however many games, they've just been headed downhill. You can see 4-6 right there. Give me Kansas. I'm going to take a flyer here, but I don't know. Kansas, this is one of their weaker teams, but that might mean they make a run. I don't know. All right, South Carolina, Oregon. Oregon only getting in because they won their Pac-12 championship, similar to NC State. South Carolina is a little questionable. All right, they have a good record, but they haven't beat the strongest teams, but neither is Oregon, obviously. I think Oregon, though, might be getting hot at the right time. So give me Oregon in this one. Next up, Creighton and Akron. All right, Creighton was in my preseason Final Four. I'm really high on them. They made that run last year, and they've got a lot of the same guys back. Kalkbrenner, Shireman, Alexander. I think Creighton might be set up to go on a run here. Sorry about that. All right, so give me Creighton in this one. All right, next up we got Texas versus Virginia or Colorado State. I'm shocked, for one, that Texas is a 7 seed. I had them as like a 9 or 10. I'm also shocked Virginia got in. Virginia has gotten pounded in games, guys. Like they've only had one game they lost by single digits. That's insane. Every other game they've got to be by like 20 or more. So Virginia or Colorado State, I'm leaning Colorado State here. I think Colorado State is too much. But if Virginia beats Colorado State, I would take Duke. But I think Colorado State is going to win. So go ahead and give me Colorado State in that one. Texas has been too inconsistent all year, you know. Tennessee, St. Peter's. All right, Tennessee is a really good team this year. St. Peter's, they had that run a couple years ago. I don't think it's happening this year. Sorry. All right, let's move back to the top of the Midwest, Purdue and TCU. Could we see another scenario where TCU upsets the one like they did against Arizona a couple years ago? It is possible. TCU, despite their 12 losses, can play, but I think Purdue gets the win here. I think Zach Edey's too much this year, especially for TCU. All right, Gonzaga, Kansas. You basically got two teams that are deep tournament run mainstays, but these are probably the two weakest teams I've seen as of late out of these two teams. Give me Kansas here. I think they have too much depth as far as they're deep. They're not deep, but they have more guys that Gonzaga does. Gonzaga has Nembhard. Kansas got McCullough. They've got Dickinson. They've got their point guard. I think they've got too much for Gonzaga. All right, Oregon, Creighton. Oregon got a good draw in the first matchup, I think, first round with South Carolina, but I don't think they can beat Creighton. I think Creighton's too much. All right, then we've got a Colorado State-Tennessee matchup in the second round. Tennessee has been impressive when I watched them this year. You can see on the screen. All right, 7th net rank, 6-4 versus the top 25. Let me put up Colorado State to compare. All right, now Colorado State 2-0 against the top 25. Strength of schedule, pretty close actually, which is weird. Look at this. Like I was talking about earlier, Colorado State got bumped down to a 10 seed, yet they had the 12th strength schedule. Doesn't make sense to me. But give me Tennessee here. I think they're too much for Colorado State. All right, so a Purdue-Kansas matchup, Hunter Dickinson, maybe, versus Zach Edey. I think Purdue is more consistent this year. They have some impressive non-conference wins despite how their season ended. Give me Purdue. I think they're too much here. All right, then you've got Creighton and Tennessee. Dalton Nett from Tennessee versus Creighton. Creighton, seasoned mainstays. Like I said, they made a run last year, lost to San Diego State in the Elite Eight. If that doesn't happen, they might go on a run. Think back to a couple years ago. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Creighton was beating, I believe, was it Kansas maybe? Or no, San Diego State. They were playing San Diego State in the first round, 8-9 game. Kalkbrenner goes down, and they lose the game. If he stays in that game, they probably beat San Diego State and then maybe beat Kansas. Give me Creighton here. I think Creighton's too much. All right, so that sets up a Purdue-Creighton matchup. All right, Kalkbrenner versus Edey. Creighton, I think their guards are better than Purdue's, despite Smith from Purdue being an improvement upon last year, you know. Creighton, I think it's too much. Trey Alexander, probably the best player on the court. Give me Creighton. All right, so that leaves one region. We've got the West region over here. Go ahead and give me North Carolina. Sorry, Howard and Wagner. North Carolina's winning that one. All right, so 8-9 matchup, Mississippi State, Michigan State. Michigan State, first off, I'm shocked they got a 9 seed. I wasn't very high on this team. They don't have an impressive resume. 14 losses, and they lost to freaking James Madison. Mississippi State got kind of hot somewhat in the SEC tournament, but ultimately kind of got whooped in their last game. Michigan State, preseason top 5 team. They went on a run last year. They've got some guys back from that team, particular AJ Hogard. and Tyson Walker, but I don't know. And Mississippi State's a little more consistent here. But Michigan State, I think there's something about them. They usually go on a run when they're a low seed like this. Give me Tom Izzo, Michigan State. All right, St. Mary's and Grand Canyon. If Grand Canyon would have got probably any other 5 seed, I would have picked them. But St. Mary's was in my preseason Final Four. Think back to last year. All right, they were beating Uconn, and Duquesne goes down, and they lose to Uconn. Uconn goes on to win the national championship. I think St. Mary's is capable of that this year, but they are also kind of hit and miss, okay? Like I said, they lost to Boise State, for example, in the non-con. As for Grand Canyon, all right, this guy right here, Tyne Grant Foster, he's impressive. He can definitely put up some points against St. Mary's. He's more athletic than anybody on St. Mary's team. But give me St. Mary's here. I think they have too much depth in their starting 5 that Grand Canyon can't compete with them. All right, Alabama and Charleston. Alabama kind of in a slump as of late. 5-5 over the last 10. Charleston 10-0, as you can see here. Charleston kind of a mainstay in the tournament field as of late. Kind of got pushed up the seed line, though, because of so many upsets. I think we had 21 seeds go down in the conference tournament, which is insane. Alabama, first overall strength of schedule. I think that's going to pay off here. Alabama can really put up some points, but also if they get cold, they can get dipped here. Don't be surprised if Charleston wins this game. All right, Clemson, New Mexico. Clemson, similar situation to Alabama, getting cold as of late. 6-4 over the last 10. Sorry about that, guys. A lot of talking here. New Mexico, 6-4 over the last 10 as well, but New Mexico is hot. Won the Mountain West. This one, if you're trying to figure out who do you pick in this one, it's going to depend on what do you think of the Mountain West. So what do you think of Nevada, Utah State, Boise State, San Diego State, New Mexico? What do you think of those teams? And Colorado State? If you're high on them, go with New Mexico. I think they're hot right now. Just won the Mountain West tournament. I think they're feeling it. All right, Baylor and Colgate. Colgate, similar to Charleston. All right, a tournament mainstay as of late. Looking at comparison of strength and schedule here, though, Baylor, obviously, better strength schedule. Colgate 0-2 against top 25. But sometimes that helps, okay, because you have played top 25 teams at least, so you're used to that size, that strength, that speed that you're going to see. Give me Baylor here, though. I think they're too much. The Big 12 kind of has them battle-tested. I think they're good. All right, Dayton, Nevada. Dayton, I'm surprised they were a 7 seed, to be honest with you. They haven't beaten a tournament team except for Duquesne, which snuck in the A-10. Dayton, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical on them. I think they're okay. They're not bad, but again, they haven't really played anybody, I don't think, as far as beating them. So I'm a little skeptical there. Now, Nevada, 8-2 over the last 10. Dayton, 6-4. I think this is going to be a pretty good game here. Dayton, I think, is more talented, but Nevada, I think, is a little more consistent. So give me Nevada in this one. All right, Arizona, Long Beach State. Again, Long Beach State kind of benefits from the way the bubble went. Okay, more and more, not the bubble, but the way the conference tournaments went, more and more 16 seeds enter the tournament because the 1 seeds in the conference tournament didn't win. So that put more bad teams in, which pushed other 16 seeds up to the 15 seed line, which means Arizona is going to get an easy win here. All right, North Carolina, Michigan State. All right, you've got not Roy Williams versus Tom Izzo like usual, but North Carolina versus Tom Izzo. All right, North Carolina, I think is pretty good. They still got a lot of guys from that national championship run a couple years ago where they made the championship. Still got Davis, still got Baycott. I think North Carolina is too much in this one. All right, St. Mary's versus Alabama. All right, again, Alabama, if they get hot, they can beat anybody. But the way they've been shooting late, I don't know. St. Mary's, though, is an older team. All right, they've been here before. And I think St. Mary's gets this win. They're too consistent in comparison to Alabama's up and downs. All right, Baylor, New Mexico. Baylor's going to be a lot bigger than New Mexico. All right, they're going to be aggressive on defense. They're going to be lengthy as far as hands in the passing lanes. But I think New Mexico might be able to beat Baylor. House, in particular, if you haven't watched him, he does have an interesting voice, but he's pretty impressive to watch. Give me New Mexico here. All right, that puts Nevada and Arizona. All right, Nevada coming out of the same conference as New Mexico in the Mountain West. Arizona, all right, you've got kind of a weird year. Arizona does have some weird losses, but Caleb Love, former North Carolina guard, can he get Arizona to where they can play North Carolina? I think he can. All right, next up, North Carolina, St. Mary's. Really good matchup here. St. Mary's is not as sporadic as North Carolina. North Carolina is a lot more talented, but St. Mary's can slow it down, ping it around, hit some shots. But I think North Carolina is ultimately too talented, and Baycott is too much for St. Mary's. I had New Mexico and Arizona. I had New Mexico getting hot at the right time. Arizona, not so much. But Arizona, again, I think is too big for New Mexico, too talented, which sets up a new North Carolina versus Caleb Love matchup in the Elite Eight. Really, this is an awesome matchup. I hope we get this matchup first off. If you've been following college basketball the last couple of years, you know Arizona's best player, Caleb Love. All right. He was on North Carolina in the past few years. They kind of pushed him away because he kind of took shots away from Davis, the guys that need to be taking shots. So we know he's going to come ready to play, but I think North Carolina ultimately is too good. All right, which sets up our Final Four of Illinois, North Carolina, and Houston and Creighton. All right, Illinois versus North Carolina. This is a really intriguing matchup here. You've got two guys for Illinois, Shannon Jr., Coleman Hawkins, two guys from North Carolina, Baycott, RJ Davis. You've got guard and big man for North Carolina versus two wings for Illinois. It's really intriguing. Okay, it could really go either way. I think North Carolina having Baycott down low, I think, is going to benefit them a little bit in this one. And having that experienced guard play in RJ Davis, he's made a deep tournament run before, I think is too much. Give me North Carolina. All right, then on the other side, we've got Houston and Creighton. Houston, Jabal Shed, LJ Cryer. Their guards have both been here before. Now, they are smaller, but they've been here. Creighton, like I said, they've made it this far too before, at least close to it in the Elite Eight. You've got Kalkbrenner, you've got Trey Alexander, you got Baylor Shireman, a little different as far as how they got here. Creighton's guys are bigger. Houston's guys, small guards that can hit shots. This is a very good game right here that would be an intriguing matchup too, because, again, Houston's going to get up in you defensively, but also their guards can go. And then it would come down to, can Houston stop Alexander, Kalkbrenner, and stop Shireman from lighting it up down low, lighting them up from the outside? I mean, I don't know. Now, Creighton did lose some games that is a little questionable to me. That's similar to St. Mary's. I was high on them at the beginning of the year, but I don't know now. But Houston has looked pretty freaking dominant when I've watched them this year. I know Iowa State just beat the crap out of them, but Houston ran Kansas out of the gym a couple weeks ago. Give me – man, I really don't know on this one. I guess I'm going to go Houston. It's 50-50. All right, so North Carolina-Houston matchup in the championship. Again, guard play versus a guard and big. So net rank, Houston first. Net rank, North Carolina 8th. Super good matchup here. Again, I know I've said that about a million times in all these games, but it's true. This one is almost a coin flip. All right, really all four of these Final Four teams are pretty freaking good. Obviously, they made it this far. This one, I think I think Houston gets the win here. They're too dominant for me. I think Houston ultimately gets the win. But those are my picks. All right, let me know yours. Do me a favor. Let me know your Final Four down in the comment section. Also, you'll see it right below me. All right, I do have a tournament group on ESPN Tournament Challenge. You're welcome to join. Winner gets a free AG t-shirt. All right, all you got to do, the link is in my community tab on my channel. So just go to my channel, click on the community tab, and you'll see the link down there to click it. All you got to do, join, one entry per user, and then first place winner gets a free t-shirt. Only thing is you got to be a subscriber to qualify. Pretty simple. All right, but if you got any questions, all you got to do, comment on that community tab or shoot me an email at agyt@gmail.com. But those are my picks. Again, let me know your Final Four down in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video. Most importantly, subscribe.